Residents across Texas are dealing with the effects of the past week's prolonged rainfall.
The plans to strengthen a previously burst sewage pipe at Pecan Creek are delayed by the bad weather.
And a new children's museum is bringing education to Denton kids in the form of play.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
It's been a wet week for Denton County residents as heavy rainfall continues across Texas, causing flooding in areas around the state. Good afternoon, I'm Caroline Kane.
And I'm Alex Spicer. The continuous downpour has swollen local creeks and streams in Denton, causing flooding. It's also delaying repairs to a sewage leak. NT Daily's Jason Middlebrooks is live at Pecan Creek with updates on the broken line.
I'm here on Mayhill Road where behind me trash has been kicked up by rising water. Part of the issue is from overflow caused by a sewage pipe burst that burst along Pecan Creek 2 weeks ago. The burst pipe leaked approximately 2.6 million gallons of sewage into the creek, which flows to Lake Louisville. The city began repairs immediately after the break and completed a temporary fix 2 days later, but rain has held up the progress.
Longer term, we're assessing whether we want to replace the 21-inch line, and if we do that, we're obviously going to have to do some geotechnical work out there to make sure that the slope stability is good, that the pipe isn't in danger of breaking again. And then the second option is to use a larger pipe, move it back from the creek and a little bit further to minimize the likelihood of this ever happening again.
The city officials are weighing different options and materials that benefit the city. Denton officials say the water is safe to drink, but if anyone comes in direct contact with the water, the city recommends to simply wash it off. Jason Middlebrooks, NT Daily News.
Texas has some amazing benefits, but the weather is not one of them. NT Daily's Alexis Trinidad has more information on just how bad the weather has been.
Denton rainfall reported October 2017 rain totaled just under 2 inches. But as of Wednesday night, Denton has already seen almost 7.5 inches of rain this October. Unfortunately for Denton drivers, the month isn't over and the rain isn't slowing down.
But the rain just keeps coming and coming. It's bad when you get off the road, get in the grass. I almost got stuck twice a couple weeks ago when it first started raining before all the Florida weather came in. So I try to stay on the concrete.
Flooding in Denton has not only caused road blockages, Old Alton Bridge has been closed for nearly a week because of flooding, which can result in road debris sometimes too big to clean up. Property owners in the area are seeing a change as well.
So our cows have to come up to the hill because it floods like where their little pens at and everything. It just overflows, the creek does, so it floods the whole property.
Meteorologists urge motorists to use extra caution when driving in the rain and to pull over if driving conditions become too dangerous. The Texas Department of Public Safety has flood safety tips on its website that can potentially save a life. Some of these tips include turning around if waters are too high to drive through, avoiding power lines and electrical wires, and try to remain on high ground and be alert for any weather notifications you might receive. With NT Daily News, I'm Alexis Trinidad.
A complete list of tips can be found on the Texas Department of Public Safety website, as well as ready.gov. Meanwhile, North Texas isn't the only area being hit hard by rain. Llano and Kingsland counties have been devastated by the torrential downpour, and the National Weather Service predicts continued rainfall through the weekend with a flash flood watch in effect for the greater San Antonio and Austin areas.
Meanwhile, officials are still finding victims from Hurricane Michael. John Lawrence reports.
Mexico Beach, all but unrecognizable to those who call this place home.
It's almost like you're in a dream, like it's not really real, but you know it is.
Residents are literally picking up the pieces left by Hurricane Michael.
Pictures, anything that's you can't replace, just the things that are irreplaceable.
Our house, what's left is a concrete slab, and everything that the house and whatever was in it is in that pile of debris that's up at the street.
Hurricane Michael is responsible for at least 32 deaths in 4 states, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. Roughly half of the confirmed fatalities were in Bay County, Florida, where Michael landed at Category 4 status. But sheriff's deputies say they're finding more victims as the water recedes. They also say people who didn't evacuate could be buried beneath piles of concrete, wood, and metal. Despite the damage, residents say a renaissance is on the way.
We will rebuild and we'll be okay.
This isn't the end of Mexico Beach. We still have a big story to write, and we're going to write one.
FEMA has teams in Florida helping residents register for disaster help. There are also dozens of distribution stops in Florida and Georgia where victims can get food and water. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
FEMA.gov has resources on their website for victims or friends and family affected by the storm.
With more frequent and severe natural disasters, disaster relief can become stretched thin. Jean Pinto shows us how a group of 19-year-olds are trying to help.
Nomadic is a company founded by 19-year-old Drake Johnson and his two business partners. They want to help rebuild and provide aid to areas affected by natural disasters. They also want to raise awareness about climate change. He says he's been environmentally conscious since he was young.
The idea from this actually came from me sending out this question to a bunch of people, over 100 people, asking them what they think the best thing a business has ever done for the environment. And I actually don't have a good relationship with my family, but my mom responded and said that she thinks the best thing that a business could do has never been done.
Nomadic will put their color-changing chameleon logo on shirts, sweaters, coasters, and many other products. From those sales, Johnson says 50% of the profits will go towards disaster relief efforts. Johnson says he knows 78% of startups fail, but this is not his first company. When he was 15, he started mowing lawns. That led to Welcome Train, a business that delivered welcome packages to people moving into neighborhoods. He sold that business last year. Now Johnson is using his expertise to make Nomadic successful. He also has help from two business partners.
I've already had multiple business encounters, and also the partners that I have currently, it's not just me in the Nomadic business, it's me and two others that moved down here from St. Louis, my hometown, to help me start this dream, Chris and Riker, and I wouldn't be here without them.
Chris Papert and Riker Trombley came to Dallas after hearing about Johnson's idea. Papert came up with the idea about color-changing products after seeing a Mustang around his neighborhood.
And it had what is called pearlescent paint on it, which is you see it from one angle and it looks green, whereas you walk 5 feet to the right and it looks orange. And I was like, well, that's so cool. And so I was like, why isn't anybody putting this on like clothing or any apparel of any sort?
Trombley created much of the design and believes he can change the world with his art.
But I think art is just as powerful of a tool. As much as we need solutions to solve the physical problems, you know, logistically, we need people to spread the message that this is an issue. I think that's where I come in. That's where Nomadic comes in.
Johnson says their first bulk batch of shirts were just ordered and should go on sale soon. For NT Daily News, I'm Jean Pinto.
You can follow Nomadic on Twitter. Their handle is @Nomadic.
Next, we'll tell you more on what might be children's new favorite place to be in Denton.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Green red hat. Oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When thinking of museums and science, you may think of your high schooler, but I found out how a new museum in Denton is trying to change that perception.
Explorium, the first children's science museum in Denton, opened last month. They want to make science more accessible for young kids.
The Explorium is geared towards ages 0 to 12.
When I stopped by, Ethany Colbert and her son Axton, who is just under 2, were at the Explorium. She says they come several times a week.
So I think physically, like him getting to run, getting to talk, getting to conversate, but also getting to like be hands-on with learning tools and reading and just kind of those things that I think are important.
Explorium's permanent location is new, but the museum has been traveling around Denton for quite some time now.
3 years ago, we started at our first preschool doing monthly science lessons. And so that has been ongoing for the past 3 years. And so now, last year we had 4 preschools we went to regularly.
The Explorium has wind tunnels, wildlife, and a life-size operation game. Tons of exhibits and experiments to help kids understand science.
At school, you might have a concept that, I don't know, you don't have something hands-on a lot of times to connect. And places like this give kids an opportunity to get something hands-on to connect to those ideas back at school.
The Explorium depends on donations from businesses and families that enjoy their time at the museum. Haas says she's happy Explorium is in a permanent location, but she has even bigger plans.
We would love to eventually build on a different site and have a freestanding structure, but we would love to have even more exhibits and more possibilities for kids to come and engage with their families.
Explorium is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and are always in need of volunteers. You can visit www.exploriumdenton.org for more information. A local coffee shop is reopening soon. A fire last year destroyed Jupiter House, but its owners are ready for a comeback. Owners Amy and Joey Hawkins told the Denton Record Chronicle the coffee shop will have a new layout, including a covered patio. Jupiter House suffered smoke and water damage last December after a 4-alarm fire destroyed the downtown mini mall nearby.
If construction around the University of North Texas feels like it's inescapable this year, that's because it is. I visited the university's facilities department to find out why. From Hickory Street to Avenue C, landscape updates are scattered across UNT. And with nearly 20 different projects currently in various stages of development, you don't have to go far before running into campus construction. One of the biggest reasons for this is delays. For example, Fouts Field was supposed to be torn down this month, but officials have postponed the project until the indoor athletics facility is complete.
Originally, Fouts Field, they were looking for a spring or a fall demolition. That's a project that's being run by the UNT System Construction Office, and they've worked with the administration to push back the construction for a couple of reasons. One, trying to limit impact on parking, and then 2, trying to coordinate it with completion of the new track and field complex over on the other side of I-35. And so they delayed demolition until they made sure they've got that track and field complex closer to completion.
According to UNT Facilities, the complex is not expected to be completed until January. Reynolds says teams who still use Fouts for practice won't have anywhere else to go until the new facility is ready. Another considerable delay is the pathway between Willis Library and the Hurley Administration Building. That was originally set to be completed last month, but record-breaking rainfall has slowed down the progress.
With our underground activities and the rough grading, we can't really proceed with just a day without rain. We've got to have a couple of days without rain to allow the ground to dry out.
Even with the delays, Reynolds says the wait will be worth it. And if the weather cooperates, you might find it easier to park on campus. The demolition on Fouts will result in more than 1,000 new parking spaces, and a new Starbucks will make its debut between Willis and Hurley next summer. UNT's head football coach Seth Littrell has been making waves since his arrival at North Texas in 2016. Littrell has led North Texas to its first 6-1 start since 1988 and has been placed on this year's Paul Bear Bryant Award watch list. This award is given annually to the country's top coach. The current list sits at 20 head coaches from around the country. Littrell joins UAB head coach Bill Clark as the two Conference USA coaches up for consideration. Other notable coaches on this year's list include Alabama's Nick Saban, UT's Tom Herman, and Texas A&M's Jimbo Fisher. The National Sports Media Association will vote on the finalists and announce the winner January 9th.
Coming up, find out when the new Soccer Hall of Fame opens in Frisco.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Toyota Stadium, home of the FC Dallas soccer team, is getting a new look. NT Daily's Dante Nunez is here to show us the new addition that highlights soccer's history.
Thanks, Alec. Thursday morning, Toyota Stadium allowed me to get an exclusive inside look at its new National Soccer Hall of Fame. It opens this weekend with an invitation-only induction ceremony. The National Soccer Hall of Fame was founded in 1950. Its first location in Oneonta, New York, closed in 2010 because of funding issues. The museum's artifacts were left dormant in a warehouse in North Carolina. Now the new museum will display these items, some that date back to the 1800s. FC's Vice President of Media and Communications says the new Hall of Fame is on par with other major sports Hall of Fames.
The National Soccer Hall of Fame really is the marriage of the great history of the sport of soccer in North America with technology that will help drive the sport even further as we progress throughout the years.
This museum will also include facial recognition, gesture technology, and many other devices to help you get closer to the action. The Hall of Fame opening wraps up a $55 million multi-year renovation with a goal to aim for the future. The museum will open to the public November 2nd. Reporting for NT Daily News, I'm Dante Nunez.
Meanwhile, Denton area soccer fans will be able to root for their own professional team soon. The Denton Diablos, a National Premier Soccer League expansion team, will be starting its matches in the Lone Star Conference next year. Former Denton Guyer and Coppell High School coach Chad Rakestraw will lead the Diablos in the same position. In addition to coaching high school, Rakestraw served as a North Texas Olympic Development Program coach for the 1998 and 1999 age groups. The Diablos will be playing at UNT's new soccer complex starting next May. More information can be found at dentondiablos.com.
The UNT Women's Club volleyball team is starting to come together. Martez Marcellus Huff reports on how the team's progress midway through the season.
New setters, no problem. The willingness to learn the game of volleyball and become a team to perform at a high level will be the challenge to overcome.
There's actually a lot of girls on our B team right now that don't have any experience, so definitely anybody. You just have to come to tryouts and prove that you're committed and prove that you want to put the work in.
Every practice, the team is harping on communication and blocking, also becoming more and more familiar with each other's strengths and weaknesses.
They're real cohesive now. Like they're all friends, they hang out, and it's just like the overall team bonding is really shown on the court, and we've played a lot better since we've been practicing together.
That cohesiveness in serving and passing is starting to show on the court and is bringing in the results as well.
Our first tournament, we got second in, so I feel that was like a big win for us. We're trying to keep going up from here, so we're really practicing on different things to get us better and how to work up in the system. So we're trying to get first place in all the tournaments that we're getting into.
The team thinks of itself as a sisterhood and family, which sets them apart from others during competition.
We're a family, so you know, there's a lot of teams that get down on each other really easy and they fight on the court and they're just like a lot of negativity. We're a very positive team. We lift each other up all the time, and even if we make mistakes, your teammate, you know your teammate's there like that second to bring you back up and keep you positive.
Getting a kill or a block in volleyball is just one important factor in this program. The will to take new and experienced members and make them one is another. Martez Marcellus Huff, NT Daily News.
You can catch the UNT Women's Club volleyball team this Saturday at the Physical Educational Building.
A local Denton establishment is helping make local students walk home from school a little more fun with activities and sweet treats. More after the break.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First I took them to feel better. Then I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Cost of family time activities getting you down?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org to find out which park or forest is closest to your family.
Acorns are not real currency, but that's okay because parks or forests are either free or super affordable. It's a truly economical way for the whole family to enjoy each other's company and bond beyond the confines of concrete buildings and rush hour.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race.
Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Denton's North Branch Library is hosting an Oreo Taste-Off on October 18th at 4 p.m. It's part of an after-school program for students on their daily walk home. There will be 13 varieties of Oreos. Anyone between the ages of 11 to 17 are welcome. The tasters will rate the varieties from best to worst.
The man behind the biggest bird on Sesame Street is leaving the best-known block in the world. Puppeteer Carol Spinney announced Wednesday that he is retiring from the roles of Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. Spinney has performed both characters since the children's show premiered in 1969. Before joining the show, he served in the Air Force, then worked in Las Vegas. He eventually met Jim Henson at a puppetry festival in 1962, and the rest, as they say, is history. Spinney holds several awards, including 6 Emmys and 2 Grammy honors.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time on NT Daily News.